Okay, so this demo is day 2 of the treatment plan, and we're gonna be starting halfway through the session. This is Gerhard Borgman. He's 56 years old, and he's coming to me in outpatient hand therapy, post-op for Dupuytren's contracture surgery. Before this, I'm trying to think of the other questions you had. He lives with his wife at home, and he is out of work at the moment for 6 weeks because of the surgery, but when he goes back to work, he's a quality engineer in an auto body shop. Are there any other blanks I didn't answer?
What are his occupational interests?
Oh, he likes hunting and fishing and house maintenance, but you'll hear all about that. Okay, we all set? All right, Mr. Boardman, how do you feel about that retrograde massage?
I mean, it feels good, but it's like still a little hard to straighten my fingers.
Right. It'll get easier as time goes on, but the massage is helping with that swelling that you're having right now. So now that I know that you can do that pretty well, you've already gotten your home program for movement, but now that we've done it together, you can go right ahead and complete this part, but you already have this at home. All right, so we have one more movement exercise for you to do, and it's called scar massage. So what we're gonna do now, you're gonna stay in this exact same position. So all you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be making circular motions on your scar. So let me come over and show you that. Basically what you're going to be doing is, like I said, you're going to keep it elevated in the same position as you were for retrograde massage, but what you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb and you're going to apply some deep pressure onto your scar, and you're going to move in circular motions, and you're going to move right up. And let me do it so that you can kind of feel what the pressure is going to feel like. Okay, so you're going to try and keep it nice and deep. What you're doing here is you're basically breaking up that scar tissue so that it's not connecting to the stuff underneath, and then we're going to have a bigger problem than we already have. All right, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
How do you think you're doing? Do you have any questions?
No, it actually feels pretty good.
It does? That's good. All right, I'm going to let you keep doing that. We're going to do that just for a few minutes. When you do this at home, we're actually going to have you do it 3 times daily for 10 minutes, but we're not going to sit here and do it for 10 minutes right now because we've got a lot of other stuff we got to do. So that is the second part right down here. So now you are able to complete your whole movement, your whole home program for movement at home. Do you have any questions about this? Anything from before or anything like that? You think you got it covered?
Yeah, everything's all on the same page, right? Like
Yep,
everything's
yep,
on the...
everything is right here for that.
I think my wife's got it somewhere.
Yep. Okay, so while you're doing that, we're going to go back and keep talking about our conversation we were having earlier when you were on the ice pack. Okay, so we introduced what was called the COPM, the assessment that helps me understand what's important to you and what activities you're having problems with right now, so then we can gauge our treatment to the goals that you want to do. All right, so we already completed it, and I got some ideas, but now we have to go back and we have to score it, and I'm going to have us do that together. So as a quick recap, the things that you found really important were being able to care for yourself, like dressing, and you said that you had buttons and shoe tying was really hard for you. You also said that household management was important. You said something about how you clean up after dinner.
Yeah, well, me and my wife always had this thing where, you know, she cooks, I clean, you know, after...
Gotcha.
And I can't do anything, really. I mean, it's prevented me from doing a lot.
Right. So you're kind of Mr. Fix-It around the house?
Yeah, we kind of live in an older house, so it seems like everything's breaking all the time. And the little lady really doesn't know how to do much, so...
Gotcha. Then the other thing was your active recreation. Can you tell me a little bit more about that, with your leisure activities?
Yeah, I go hunting and fishing with the boys a lot, but you know, with that, I mean, I can't really hold a gun at all because, I mean, I'll look at my hand, you know. Fishing's also impossible because I can't hold anything. So it's just, you know, all those guys are out there enjoying the day and I'm stuck at home.
And then the last one was socialization. You said you were having an issue with an active socialization activities.
Well, it is. I think it's also kind of a problem with my wife. A lot of the boys stop over in the garage and, you know, I'm working on this old Chevelle I have and they stop in and they want to drink beers and, you know, next thing you know, the wife's getting on me about drinking beers with the boys while I'm doing my medications and, you know, that I'm not any good around the house. And so I'm just kind of finding it hard to kind of separate that, you know, drinking from my, because I mean, all my buddies like to drink,
Yeah.
you know, so.
Being able to find social activities that don't incorporate alcohol consumption.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because I do enjoy it, but I'm getting a lot of grief from the old lady, so.
Alright, so let's go through these real quick, and all I'm gonna have to ask you to do is rate each item from 1 to 10 on how important those activities are for you. 10 being it's the most important activity for me to do during the day, to 1 not being so important, okay?
Yeah.
I'm guessing they are gonna be pretty important because they're the ones that we talked about the most. So, personal care, dressing,
I'd say it's about a 9.
and why is that?
Well, my wife gets up and goes to work, and I've been kind of sleeping in lately, so getting up and like dressing myself is pretty tough because I go to work and I wear button-down shirts, and like that's pretty much all I own, you know, is flannel and work stuff, so it's hard to button my buttons, I guess.
How about the meal cleanup and the household chores?
Well, like that, you know, it's hard to pick anything up, or, you know, I can't sweep, I can't dust, I'm just, you know, as far as like fixing things as well, like I can't even hold a tool, you know, so it's,
So from 1 to 10, how important do you think it is?
well, she complains a lot, and I get a lot of grief, like I said, so, and I'm having a lot of issues with it, so I'd probably rate that at 10. I like to keep my woman happy.
How about your active recreation, your fishing and hunting and outdoor activities?
I do enjoy it. I mean, you know, like that, I like drinking, hanging out with my buddies. I'd probably say I rate that maybe about an 8. It's important, but not that important.
Right. And the last one is your socialization.
I do like to hang out with my boys, so I'd probably rate that a 9.
Okay. Alright, so now we're gonna go through these again, but this time I'm gonna have you rate from 1 to 10 on how well you think you're performing these activities. 10 being, I think I'm doing great, 1 being, I'm not doing so hot, okay? So the dressing and self-care, from 1 to 10.
Yeah, probably about a 2.
And the home maintenance,
That's about a 2.
and your leisure pursuits.
Oh, that's about I'd say about a 3.
And your socialization.
It's about a 3.
Alright, we are almost done. Now I'm just gonna have you go and rate from 1 to 10 one more time, but this time it's gonna be your satisfaction with your performance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, so from 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with how well you performed your dressing and self-care?
Well, it takes me a while in the morning, so I'd say probably about a 1.
And home maintenance.
That's about a 1.
And leisure pursuits?
I'd say about a 2.
Socialization.
I'd say that's about a 2.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and score this on my own time, and then we can talk about this later. The numbers aren't really gonna mean much to you, but basically all it's gonna do for me is when we go back and we use this again towards the end of therapy, we can use that number and compare to the one that you just gave me now. We can also compare your comments and your thoughts on how you think other questions or anything else that you think I should know about that I can also put on this assessment?
Not
You're
really.
pretty good?
Yeah.
Alright. That's good. How are you feeling about the scar massage?
It's good. I mean, how long do I have to do it though? Because my other hand's hurting.
Yeah, we are all done with that, actually. So if that does, if you are starting to cramp up or if it's starting to get painful, always stop, take a break. If you have to work up to the 10 minutes at a time, that's perfectly okay. Okay? So the next thing that we're gonna work on, because we started this last session, was dressing. So what we did last session was we went over, I watched you try and unbutton your shirt and do like tying your shoes, stuff like that, and it was pretty difficult. It took us a while to get through that. What I did do at the end of the session, if you remember, is we introduced some adaptive equipment and just kind of like showed you what it was and what it's for, but we didn't really get to use it yet. So that's what we're gonna be doing today, all right? So if you remember, what is this called?
Oh yeah, that's that weird button hook thing.
It is. What do we do with it?
Button my shirt, I guess.
All right. So are you able to take that vest off so you have a little bit more wiggle room?
Yeah.
I went ahead and grabbed myself a shirt so we could be twins for a little bit. And how you're gonna button this, actually, first I'm gonna have you unbutton your shirt. Are you able to do that with one hand?
Yeah, it's
Well,
not
that's
too
like
bad.
pretty easy. Alright, so while you're doing that, if you can, watch me. All that you're gonna be doing is that you're gonna loop this around the button. Actually, you're gonna have to go from this side. You're gonna push it through the loop. And you're gonna grab the button on this side, which it might take you a little while to get used to. And then you're just gonna have to pull it through. And because you do have use of this arm, at least you can hold down while you're trying to push it through. And you might be able to even, so you don't even really need to use like your fingers and pinching and all of that. But you should be able to. I can show you again one more time. So you're gonna bring it through, and then you're gonna, you bring it through, and you're gonna hook the button. And then you're gonna pull it right through the loop, and then you can go ahead and help yourself as much as you can with this other hand, okay? Do you have any questions?
No, give it a go, I guess.
Alright, you can try that. And I'll watch you for the first couple. Do what you can with that right hand as much as possible. This is just supposed to help you so you don't have to waste as much time trying to.
Does this thing ever pop off any buttons?
That's a good question. I have not seen it happen myself, but I'm sure with some strong men, if they're not careful, I'm sure it'll pop right off.
I'll tell you what, this will definitely save my wife a lot of hassle. And at least I can sleep in a little bit.
So you'll be getting that pretty good. Nice.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't take off a button, I'm good.
Alright, cool. So I'm gonna have you, we're gonna practice that for a little while, but while you're doing that, I want you to look down at my sneakers I decided to wear to work today. What makes them look a little bit different than usual? What do you notice?
You got some funny laces.
I do got some funny laces. Why I did this was because you told me that you're having a problem with lacing up your boots, correct?
Yeah.
Well, I actually know a little bit about how to lace your shoes so that you only need to use one hand to be able to tie them. So you'd be able to do this with your non-dominant hand, and you won't have to ask your wife to tie your shoes for you. You won't have to spend a lot of time trying to put your shoes on anymore. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah, that's good. I'm getting sick of wearing those ugly slip-on Crocs.
I bet.
Pain. Pain.
Alright, so it doesn't, like, when you first look at them, you might not notice it, so it's not like a big, people aren't gonna notice that you have your shoes tied a little differently, so, if you are interested, you can take off one of your shoes and I can lace them up for you. Are these the only shoes that you usually wear during the day?
That's it, yeah, they're my work boots.
Okay, so I have no problem lacing them up for you, and then I will teach you how to tie them yourself, okay?
Alright.
So if you wanna hand me your boot, and then I can lace that up for you while you're practicing with your button hook a little bit more.
Well, I'm just gonna have to warn you ahead of time that they are my work boots.
Alright.
So, they're not gonna smell like roses.
That's not a problem. Alright. So yeah, try and incorporate that right hand as much as possible, and this is just gonna help you eat it, okay?
Would you want me to open my shirt completely and do it, or just work on a couple buttons?
That is up to you, you're gonna keep doing it. So if you want to unbutton the whole shirt and then button the whole shirt back up, because in reality, that's what you're gonna have to be doing. So,
Now, do you have a recommendation? Do I start at the bottom or the top?
what do you usually do?
I usually start at the top and work my way down.
I think that's a good idea.
Right.
Go ahead and try that. Do you feel like this is gonna make time go by a little bit quicker?
Absolutely.
They don't smell as bad as you said.
Whew. I don't know how you're doing it. Yeah, this isn't bad at all. I wonder if I can make this in my garage.
You might be able to. If you're interested in getting one yourself, they are on Amazon. They're not too expensive or anything like that. $7, $8. There's a bunch of different places you can get them. They are pretty easy to make if you were looking for something to do while you're home for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah, I definitely need all that I can get. I've been kind of bored, and this is just, it's exhausting.
All right, you ready to pop this on?
Sure.
I think I left it loose enough for you to be able to slip it on. You got some pretty tall ankle supports there, so you should be good.
Oh, so the tools don't
That's
come down and
easy.
hit my ankles.
All right.
That's the last thing I need.
All right, so how I'm gonna show you on my own shoes how this works, okay? All right, so you can see I'm using my non-dominant hand too, so. All you're gonna do is you're gonna make a loop, and do you wanna do it with me or you wanna watch me the first time?
I'll do it with you.
All right.
'Cause,
Okay, so all you're gonna be doing is you're gonna take this loop and you're gonna tuck it underneath that first string across.
this here
Yep.
or this?
Yep, go right underneath
This one?
the top one.
This
Yep,
one?
that one right there.
Okay.
Okay, now you're gonna grab it, you're gonna go through the loop,
Yep,
and you're gonna pull that extra string out that's coming up the side.
this one.
Yep, and then you're gonna pull nice and tight. Okay? Now it might take a couple tries to be able to get like how close you have to get the loop to the other loop and to the everything else, but then after that, it's up to you. I usually go ahead and just tuck it in the side of my shoe, and voila. Takes 2 seconds. You don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to finagle with your other arm for a little while anyways, until we get a little more function in there.
Yep.
So, let's do it one more time together. So you're gonna make a loop. And then you're gonna pull it underneath that first. There you go. Then you're gonna go through the loop and pull. Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
you did
a lot
better that
easier.
time.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna have you practice that a little bit while I take your other boot and lace that one up for you.
Ooh, you gotta go through this again?
Yep, one more time.
Poor girl.
But hey, now that you've got it all laced up, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's true. kinda serious, you might wanna let those air out a little bit, not gonna lie.
Okay. Another time saver for you. So you can spend more time on your own program, right?
Yes, yeah, the quicker I can, get this stuff sorted out, the better off I am. 'Cause I just really need to get back to work.
Good.
Feels good.
You can just leave, I'm not gonna make you tired again, because you gotta do this one. Oof. So you're feeling pretty good about the buttons and the shoe tying?
Yeah, what I'll
That's
do is I'll probably have my wife order me one of those button hooks. If not, I could probably make it out of a, I don't know, it's different, ain't it?
Alright, here's this one, I think I loosened it up enough for you to be able to slip your foot in there. Alright, so let's see if you can do it on your own.
So I move it, I go under this.
Yep.
And then I hold that.
Perfect.
That's good. You want me to do it again, or?
I think you're okay. Do you feel confident you can do it?
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Alright, perfect. So we only got a few more minutes here together.
Okay.
And what we're just gonna discuss for a little bit is some more home program stuff, because I hear that you like homework.
I do. Like I said, I haven't been really doing anything lately. So I need stuff to do because, like I said, the faster I can get this thing healed, the faster I can get back to work and doing what I need to do.
Alright, so we already went over the movement program for your hand, the exercises. Now we're gonna go into a couple other things that have to do with journaling. I'm gonna be having you do a journal after every session as homework, and the reason we're doing this is I've already set it up with your wife, I've got your email and everything, so all of the journal entries are gonna be sent to your email so that you can type.
Okay.
We know we're having a little hard time with trying to write at this point, but this is gonna be able for you to incorporate using both hands, and even if you're just doing some basic finger pointing, that's fine, okay? As much as you can incorporate your dominant hand, the better, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna have you do is, I brought some research with me because there's a controversial topic that comes along with your contracture on whether we should splint or not. It is a protocol that is commonly used, but it is also not entirely evidence-based. It's hard to find a lot of the research behind it. So either way, I've seen it been done. So what I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna let you see some of the stuff that I found on it. You can go on your own if you like and look up what it is, and do you know what the splint is? It's kind of
Yeah.
what do you picture when you think of a splint?
I think of, just something like stabilizing, like a cast.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, exactly. So I'm gonna let you have the reins on this one because it's your body and it's your recovery, okay? So I want you to be able to decide either way what you feel like is right for you and your life, okay? So what I've done is I've actually created a pros and cons sheet that you can go ahead, research up as much as you want, ask people about it, go out and network, whatever you want to do. Find things that you like about it, find the things that you're like, that's not really going to work with my schedule, I don't really think that that's going to work for me, don't want to do it. And then there's a little spot down here for conclusions on, what's my indecision? Because I will go right ahead and I will make a script to get a split done for you. It's customized for you and for what your diagnosis is. But I'm gonna let you make the decision on this one, okay? My other journal entry is going to be more of like a free write, and there's gonna be a couple questions just for guiding, but you can go ahead and write or type whatever you want. The first question is gonna be more like a struggles and barriers theme this week. Okay, so one of the questions is, what do you struggle with right now? This can be based on your diagnosis, this can be based on struggles that you're having with socialization and drinking, this can be on anything that you feel like you're having struggle with right now. Are there barriers to your achievement to success? So are there things that are blocking your way to recovery or to any of the other struggles that you're having to overcome them, and what are they? And the last question is, how do you think you can address the struggles that you're facing? So it's like the so what, like what can I do? What are some ideas of what I should do to help get rid of those barriers and to address the struggles that I'm having?
Now, is this just for me, or am I giving this back to you?
This is for you, and if you want to incorporate your wife, because you're gonna be doing this at home, I'm sure she'd be more than interested to see what you write down, maybe help you with some thoughts. You can bring it back and we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but we don't have to talk about everything that you write down, okay? So this is mostly for you, but when we come back, I am going to ask you about it when we're doing our cold packs and stuff next time as well. And we'll just recap on the highlights that you found that were important.
Yeah.
Any questions about that?
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna share this with my wife.
You can start, going individually and independently with it, and, we can go from there. And I know she's interested in your recovery, she wants to be incorporated in therapy too, so.
Yeah. And I do appreciate this. It's, I did have a few doubts about you being so young. Jesus, you're like my son's age.
Yeah, well, coming fresh out of college, it has its pros and its cons, but one of them is that we are coming out with a lot of evidence-based practice principles, so that is one good thing about being treated by me.
What else?
So for your home programs, you got your movement, you got your pros and cons sheet, you got your journaling. Do you think you got enough to keep you occupied?
I do.
Right.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you for it, just because, like that, like I said, I'm 6 weeks off and I need stuff to do.
Alright, so if we are all set, then I think we've covered enough today, and next week, we will start working on, what are we working on? I think we're going into some stuff for work, some simulations, like get back to this and that.
I'll be looking forward to that.
Okay, I will see you next week.
All right, thank you very much.
Oh, you're such a good actor.
I love it.
She doesn't even have to think about it.
Acting.
I appreciated your non-judgmental